There is an interesting paradox, I believe, in our world. On one hand, we have access to a lot of information, which is amazing because let's just think of one simple thing. When, let's say that your grandmother, for example, some 50, 60, 70 years ago, when your grandmother or your grandfather was your age, or even when your mother or your father was your age, they probably didn't have access to that much information. And there were books, of course, but with the internet, it's as if all sorts of doors are open. You can learn literally anything, you can connect to literally anyone, you know more what's going on in the world. That's amazing. But at the same time, I think the biggest challenge is that we tend to get lost in all that excess of information, and sometimes we find it really difficult to concentrate on one task and to not allow ourselves to be distracted by those distractions. And especially when it comes to social media notifications, when you log on to your phone, when the moment you switch on your Wi-Fi, you will get so many notifications from your social media apps, WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. And it's really annoying sometimes because sometimes there are superficial, nonsensical messages that don't bring anything, just very low quality communication going on, very superficial, not really bringing anything. So what I do is I put all my notifications off. So even if I get a message, I won't even get this little pop-up window on my phone. I have to enter in the messages box, then I will know if I have a message, and then I will reply. I don't think that most of the time most messages are not a question of life and death. So I think that it's very wise. At least I enjoy the benefits of it, like not being, I'm not addicted to the internet or to social media, but I must say that I do depend on it for a large part of my, how would I say, entertainment, education. But I have a fair balance, I would say, between my life and phone, as we say, phone life balance. So I really find it very challenging. It's true that sometimes how do I make sense of all that information that I have? How do I retrieve only what is important to me? How do I not feel overwhelmed? Because many times I feel overwhelmed by the amount of information. There are so many interesting things that you feel you don't know what to take and what not to take, and you end up really being stuck sometimes. So I hope that I will be able to find a solution for that. And I'm working on it. It's true. I would say that I am improving a little, especially by listening to some motivational speakers when you get to hear about their own coping mechanisms. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to become a great or famous or super rich person, but it's my duty, I think, to keep on trying to become the healthier, smarter, happiest version of myself, as all individuals want. And there is something very important that I have been thinking lately. Like, it's true that I tend to have many passions, many interests, and many dreams, and I tend to be skilled in a couple of fields. For example, I would say Urdu, English, literature, arts, etc. But I have to choose at one point on what I want to focus the most. I have to choose what do I really love the most, and I have to give my 200% to that, I think. So in my case, it's very simple. I think the answer is very obvious. I love, love, love the English language, and I've always loved books. I am obsessed with reading, obsessed with writing, and I think that if I want to, let's say, one day become an English teacher or writer, which is my dream of publishing a novel or whatever it is, even if it might not turn out the way I am expecting, because let's face it, not all of us become famous authors or things like that. But I think it's really very worthwhile to give it a try. At least I think I definitely want to focus a lot on that aspect, on the English language, English literature, on writing more, reading more. I always keep telling myself that I have so many books and I still feel like I just want to read all of them. But sometimes even reading one single book without interruption is such a big challenge, because again, there are so many distractions, so many unnecessary interruptions. Sometimes you tend to feel tired, or you can't concentrate, which is again one of my biggest enemies right now. I don't understand how I can do that. How can I find back my concentration? I don't really understand from where the problem is coming from. But I think that this is a challenge that many people face, this problem to concentrate, and maybe it is also the fault of technology and the fact that we have this sensory overload, this information overload. So I don't know.